Police believe that one of the three men in the private life of Private First Class Kelli Bordeaux had something to do with her mysterious disappearance.
I think they were just looking at us three.
Mike Bordeaux, Kelli's recently estranged husband. Justin Thompson, a secret boyfriend she'd been having an extramarital affair with for more than a year. And Nicholas Holbert, a new acquaintance said to be trying to steal Kelli away from Justin.
Do you think he was interested in her?
Oh, yes.
But cops said no evidence to connect any of them to Kelli going missing. Both estranged husband Mike and Kelli's boyfriend Justin had provided alibis that they were each hundreds of miles away in St. Cloud, Florida when Kelli disappeared in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And Nick Holbert, the last known person to see Kelli before she vanished, had told police he dropped her off near her apartment after an evening of drinking at a Fayetteville bar called Froggy Bottoms.
Everything was going good.
His story was supported by a text boyfriend Justin received from Kelli's cell phone later that night, telling him she had arrived home safely.
It was so weird. The text message before that was, "Hey, call me, call me, call me."
Justin was unable to reach Kelli again and suspected Nick had harmed her.
I knew it was him from the beginning. When I talked to the detectives, I knew it was him.
And Justin wasn't the only one.
I actually happened to see Nick Holbert on TV doing his interview on Kelli Bordeaux.
Pleading with the public for information on her whereabouts while he was out looking for her with hundreds of other searchers.
And I told my wife, I said, look, he's lying.
How did you know?
I'm like a human lie detector just about. I can just tell when people are feeding me BS. I do it all the time. I feed people BS like you wouldn't believe, but it's for my job.
David Marshburn is a private detective who's hunted down hundreds of fugitives wanted for jumping bail. And he was determined to go after Nick and solve the Kelli Bordeaux mystery.
I told my wife, I said, I want to see if I can find this girl. I can find somebody that's on the run, but finding somebody just sitting still, that's going to be another task.
You just wanted to go out on your own and try to figure this out if you could.
Right.
Marshburn's suspicions about Nick would only grow when he learned he was a homeless drifter living in his truck in a makeshift camp behind Froggy Bottoms, where he worked as a bar hand. And then police would discover Nick was a convicted sex offender who had molested and beaten a 5-year-old girl when he was 16.
Did he rape her?
That I don't know. I know he beat her so badly that I was told she was still in a wheelchair.
Marshburn says Nick was also a predator when it came to females of any age.
He was just so pervertedly interested in women, it was crazy. It
was like an obsession.
It was like a psycho.
Police still couldn't link Nick to Kelli's disappearance, but they did manage to put him behind bars for a year for failing to register as a sex offender in Fayetteville.
So while he was in jail, the only thing I could do is go possibly put areas to where Nick had been. And I wound up working hundreds of hours searching woods, searching ponds, searching lakes, everything.
When Marshburn fails to find any trace of Kelli's body, he devises a plan to befriend Nick when he gets out of jail and trick him into telling what he knows about Kelli's disappearance.
I had to be his best friend. I had to be a good friend to him.
Do you befriend him right away?
I do. When he answered the door, I said, Nick, I'm David Marshburn, I'm a PI. I'd like to talk to you about Kelli. I don't believe you done it.
You told him that?
Yeah, told him right out the gate. But I believe you could help me to clear your name so we could find her.
You had your strategy mapped out.
I did. I had it in 3 stages. You didn't have nothing to do with it. You might have had to do something with it. You did it. By the end of that you did it stage, I was accusing him of doing it and he won't deny it.
Marshburn would start by literally buying Nick's friendship and trust.
What did you do?
Well, the guy was down on his luck. He needed money. And if I gave him money, he would keep wanting to see me, whether I talked to him about Kelli or not. I mean, there was some times where I would be eating dinner with my family. He'd call and say, I don't have anything. I need some cigarettes. I need to eat. And I'd drop what I was doing, leave my family, and go an hour away just to give him some money.
But months would go by without a frustrated Marshburn getting any information out of Nick about Kelli's disappearance.
I almost was to the point to take him, and you can ask anybody that's close to me, exactly what I said. I wanted to take him to a barn somewhere, start cutting his fingers off until he told me where the hell she was. Now that's how mad I was. I was so close, but yet he wouldn't give it to me. He's such a not to tell me what he done with, and I had done so much for him.
But Marshburn persisted, trying all kinds of ploys. One of them convincing Nick he'd worked out a deal with prosecutors and presenting him with a fake plea bargain he drew up himself.
He's gonna tell he committed murder, he killed Kelli, he's gonna apologize for it, he's gonna get mental health for it, he's gonna stay in like an apartment complex where he'll have a computer to work on.
He's believing this?
Yes, wholeheartedly. He took it and looked at that and stared at it and read it over and over. And then all of a sudden he paused for a little bit and then handed it back to me and said, I'm not gonna sign it, they'll just take it back.
But the mere fact that Nick considered the deal was proof to Marshburn that he was responsible for Kelli's disappearance.
At that point, 2 months into talking to him, that gave me the concrete evidence that now I gotta get it out of him.
Next, it takes just one more sneaky trick for David Marshburn to get Nick Holbert to confess to the murder of Kelli Bordeaux.
Started screaming real loud, and I got scared.